Hello, Libra, and welcome to your tarot card reading for May 2024. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jane, and in these readings we really go through a tarot card prediction and astrology prediction. I really try my hardest to link these two together to give you the most accurate predictions that you can possibly get here on YouTube. So we are going to go ahead and get right into this. If you are interested in a private reading, I've made some changes to my offering, and as of May 1st, those will be made available on my website for booking. So if you're interested, the links can be found in the description box and the pinned comment down below. So be sure to keep your eyes open for that. I'm very excited to be connecting with all of your energy this month. It's a very exciting month as we have Jupiter coming into Gemini at the end of May. We have Taurus season. We have Venus and Mars in rulership. We have really wonderful things happening in the sky that are going to help push us forward. So with that being said, you're welcome to check out your sun, moon, or rising sign. If you're brand spanking new and you have no idea, just check out your sun sign. That's fine. And if you're kind of exploring, please check out all three of those signs to see which one resonates with you the most. Some readers will resonate with different placements. So if you resonate more with your sun or rising with me, then that would be who you would watch with me. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Thank you all again. You guys know I love and appreciate each and every one of you for being here. So let's go ahead and get started. Hello, Libra, and welcome to your May 2024 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with an oracle card. What is it that Libra needs to know for the month of May? Healthy boundaries. Okay, this came out for another zodiac sign as well. Makes me really happy because I think when we set these healthy boundaries, there is so much more that we can accomplish, right? When we don't have these energetic leakages everywhere and we're not like draining energy on things that completely detour us from where we're trying to go, we can be so productive and we can have so much progress in such a short period of time. And I think not being available to other people. Now, when I say other people, obviously, if you work like maybe in a corporate environment, you're going to have to be available to other people. But you know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to your personal ambitions, it's really about like closing the door, not answering your phone, not going out, and I'm not saying don't do those things at all, but if they drain your energy, if they steal your life force, if they kind of prevent you or create resistance in some way, it really is so important to set that boundary. And you can do that in lots of different ways, just simply by your availability. You can communicate with people and say, hey, I really need this time to do X, Y, and Z. Please don't bother me. Just be very clear and very upfront. Now, Libra technically is known for being very non-confrontational. So I know you're not trying to be mean, right? You're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or whatever. But I will say that having Mars in Aries can be such an asset because you can have that sense of autonomy and independence and personal power and be able to exert your will a little bit more effortlessly into the world. And when we have that kind of empowerment going on, there are so many things that are possible because you take that energy back for yourself. Okay. So I have these question cards here for meditation. So let's see. Excuse me. So sorry. Am I afraid to be seen? Okay. This says, the world doesn't want you to hold back any longer. Time to shine your unique light on the world. You were made from love, and from love you are whole. There is no more hiding. There is no more shame. There is only truth. Live naked and free. Wow, that's really powerful because I've felt in the past Libra readings that Libra has been kind of in this process of stepping into their light, stepping into their bigness. Libra does tend to be a little bit more, Libras can certainly have like their style and their aesthetic, and they can have this this sense of like presence in the world, but there is a reserved quality because Venus rulership, Saturn exaltation, it's a very cool, unassuming zodiac sign. Even though you can have your eccentricities just like anybody else, there's still that kind of pulled back energy, especially with the Saturn exaltation connection with your sign. And so for a Libra to really step out and to really put themselves out there, I think it does take a little bit more effort. And I think it takes a little bit more confidence and a little bit more self-belief than maybe it does like with say a Sagittarius, right? Who's Jupiter ruled, or a Pisces or something. And so you have to kind of more consciously do that. And you have had Jupiter in the 8th house for a year. And Jupiter in the 8th house is not the most available placement. At the end of May, Jupiter comes into Gemini. This is 9th house energy. Also, Gemini season activates as well. So we're moving into that 9th house. And I think it's going to be a lot better for Libra throughout the rest of 2024 in terms of expanding and not being afraid to be seen. So there are some really, really special markers coming up for us. And I think this month is really like mental preparation. And maybe that's why you need the healthy boundaries, because you're preparing for a big launch of some kind. Now, it doesn't mean you're like launching a big business or anything, but I think maybe personally for a lot of you, you're just really ready to shed a lot of the restraint, to shed a lot of the things that have held you back, and to really embrace more growth. Okay. So let's see. For the tarot cards. Now the Knight of Swords has been coming out quite a bit, but I am seeing it actually as an aspect of you. So the Knight of Swords does feel like the fear component that you may have been dealing with. It feels like the part of you that is, first of all, on one hand, it's like that something needs to be done about something. I know that sounds very generic, but it's like something needs to be done about something, about an issue, about a circumstance in your life. And yet maybe you've been ruminating in the chaos a little bit. And that's okay, because I feel like the past couple of months, there has been such a buildup, right, to that eclipse that happened in Aries, which was so potent. And then we have, we had the Mars-Saturn conjunction happening last month too. We had Uranus-Jupiter conjunction in your 8th house. So especially 8th house, like that's not the most stable house. And it is a house of death and rebirth, and where our identity really goes to die and we are reborn. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes type of house, right? So we had a lot of just sort of undercurrent of things being very shaky. And that can create an atmosphere of fear or scarcity or lack or whatever. But, this does seem to be a good thing ultimately, because this is what really starts to get you on some kind of a learning track, as I see with the Page of Coins. And the fact that these two are kind of coming together tells me that there is kind of this emergence that is happening this month. So you've been pushed to the brink of something, and now it's time for you to start implementing changes, and it's time for you to start learning. And Jupiter in Gemini in the 9th house is a massive learning period. Okay, so we're going to be opening our minds like crazy over the next year, and you're going to be developing all sorts of new skills and new knowledge. Your mind is absolutely going to transcend this current paradigm in which you are operating. All right, so it's like you can feel this shift is happening. You can feel this merge. And while I don't know that anything specifically relevant is going to happen in May, I think more likely it will happen June, July, August, but this is like the preparation moment. This is when everything starts turning over. And I think having Venus in your 8th house as well, your ruling planet in rulership in Taurus, though, it's in rulership in Taurus, is good for Libra. But Venus being in the 8th house is going to place significant value on your transformation. And there's also probably massive money things coming through for Libra right now, really thinking about your resources. I would also really urge you to think about debt, okay, and maybe taxes if that's a thing for you. Okay, 8th house, debt and taxes. So if there's money stuff going, spouse's money as well. So if there's resource money types of themes in your life, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And with the 2 of coins, there again, it's that flip-flop. Like I'm almost kind of sensing that there's a trade going on, or an upgrade, if you will. Like Libra is trading one way of being for another way of being. And it's like being afraid to be seen to being excited to be seen. And living your life in a little bit of a bigger way. Living more purposefully, living more with a vision or a mission in mind, living with a little bit more direction. Especially if you have been feeling a bit wandery the past couple of months. You know, when we have a lot of like Aquarius and Pisces energy, it's not always the most direct. And sometimes we can feel like we're really disconnecting from a lot. And so this is a great month for Libra to just kind of get grounded, find that sense of security in some kind of a plan of some sort. You know, think about your goal and think about how you want to get there. Think about what you need in order to get there. Think about what money you need, what resources, which people you need. You know, think about this stuff. Put together some semblance of a plan, knowing that it will change later, and that's okay. But you can at least get a few steps in, and you can really start to experience this transition from like the chaos and the, you know, the loudness and the pressure into this more methodical learning one day at a time, taking it step by step kind of thing. The thing I like about the Page of Coins is that it's super manageable, right? It's not this overwhelming all at once type of thing. And again, with healthy boundaries, you know, when you start putting up those blocks to prevent things that leak your energy, you're going to be more capable of dedicating more and more to these steps. All right. So what else, Libra? What else do you need to know for May? Okay, there's like something in your life got to where it is because of some really deep-rooted negative beliefs. As I see with the High Priestess card, there's something like with your underworld. And of course, Sun being in Taurus, 8th house, we have deep psychological stuff happening. And Venus, again, is really putting an emphasis on, you know, like really valuing what's going on below the surface. And the High Priestess in the reversal seems to be releasing information for you, like releasing aha moments where the light bulb turns on and you're like, oh, that's why I do that. Okay. I don't know that you have to do this deep inner child work. I don't think this is the right astrological environment for that. Like you don't have to do child work. You don't have to do shadow work. You don't have to go into past life regressions. You don't have to go and do all this really heavy stuff. I think it's going to be a little bit more accessible because the sun is in that 8th house. So it's like, you're not going to be able to hide from yourself or lie to yourself about why things got to be the way they got to be. It's like it's more accessible to you. It's like, okay, I get it now. I understand why this was happening and how I got here. I understand. You know, and it feels very, you know, like I say, accessible and obvious. And that can be a relief, I think, sometimes, because sometimes knowing the root of an issue is really all you need to fix the issue. Sometimes it's hard to find the real root because sometimes there's like many, many layers to that and there's lots of different factors, and sometimes it's more of a straight line. I feel right now, Libra, the source of your issues is a very straight line. It's like very clearly this set of decisions led you down this path. That's why you're here. So there's really no question about it. And now it's like that clock starts again. It's like a hitting the reset button on a stopwatch, right? And now you kind of get to begin again and just do it differently this time. It really is a matter of snapping your fingers and just doing it differently. And again, even healthy boundaries within yourself. Like let's use diet as an example, right? Taurus season, food. Let's say you have a history of not eating very well. Okay, well, today you can wake up and you can choose to eat better. Like it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter what you did last week, right? Just today you do it differently. Today you make better choices. Today you go to a different restaurant or you cook a different meal, right? You put less salt on your meal or whatever. It's just like, it's really that straightforward. Because look, am I afraid to be seen as such a contrast to the King of Wands, which is the card of Leo, directly in the center of the reading. This is like sunshine directly in the middle of the reading. We want to see Libra shining bright. We want to see Libra succeed. We want to see Libra have all of the abundance that you truly deserve and are worthy of. Right? That's what we want. That's what you want. That's what the world and people that love you, it's what everybody wants. So I think people want more from Libra, and not more in terms of like you giving them more. It's just your inherent value. It's your knowledge. It's your life experience. It's your talents and your skills. And the things that you offer the world, I think are so much more valuable than you realize. Your ability to care about people, your ability to empathize, your ability to tell stories, your ability to make people feel comfortable, your ability to create things and make life beautiful, and your ability to learn and grow. Like those are qualities that the world needs more of and are extraordinarily inspirational. And I'm wondering if Libra doesn't feel like they are an inspirational person sometimes. And maybe with the South Node in your sign, there's a little too much humility going on because you're having a hard time really grasping onto who you are, having a hard time grasping onto some semblance of an identity because your identity is being challenged, right? But just because you can't grasp onto an identity doesn't mean you can't still thrive being just who and what you are right now today. Because I look at this King of Wands and I'm like, Libra's got a vision for their life. There is no doubt. There is a vision in place. The money, the love, the romance, the family, the career, the social aspects of it, the home environment. We could go through all the houses and the health, right? The spiritual health, the travel, the adventure, the learning, all of it. We could go through all the archetypes. I know you have a vision for your life. And it's just a matter of reaching out and grabbing it now. And it's such a stark contrast to the chaos and the fear and the lack and the freaking out of the Knight of Swords over here. The real key is the Page of Coins, which is the day-to-day stuff. Saturn is in your 6th house right now, and he is demanding the mundane tasks be done. And there may be avoidance there perhaps, and maybe it's really hard, and maybe there are things for you to contend with, maybe health issues, right? 6th house, house of health. Maybe there are, work issues. Maybe your work environment isn't the best, whatever the case is. But, this is about day-to-day choices. So when you wake up and you say, okay, I'm going to look for a new job today, or I'm going to choose healthier options for myself today. I'm going to go to the gym today. I'm going to work on my meal plan today, whatever. Okay, I'm going to do that stuff today. That is you getting into alignment with this grand vision. And that's actually what Saturn wants you to do. Saturn creates problems, but they're only problems if you fight against them. Okay? And with the Page of Swords, this feels like a boundary thing to me. Like there are people who are going to try to permeate that boundary, and they're going to try to get through to you and try to have access to you and whatnot. But look, this throne kind of acts like a wall. We can kind of see that like straight line. Like there has to be a wall. You have to be able to give yourself back the energy, give yourself back what what you need to thrive, because there's no way you're going to be able to help this person if you're just leaking all the time, okay? And this person, whoever, whatever it is, or circumstance or whatever, it's just, it feels like a mirror of like who you used to be, but like even worse, because it's not even as mature as a knight. It's still just a page. So it's really not worth, your time is not worth what you have right now. The best way for you to help the Page of Swords reversed is for you to shine your brightest. That's the best way for you to help. It's not for you to lessen your light or to halt your goals in order to dedicate to them, to hold their hand, to advise and counsel them. Now, I'm not saying you can't be a good friend, but this doesn't feel like a friend to me. This feels like someone who is a little bit needy or clingy, or someone who just is nagging you, or like who needs a lot from you. And it seems to be a nuisance. Okay, so you do need to set these healthy boundaries for things that are a nuisance. All right, let's see what the last row has to say. Okay. So I had mentioned that you are still kind of maybe trying to figure out this new identity of yours, South Node in the first house, because the South Node, it's a very difficult entity in the chart. Okay, it's not a planet, it's like a point. Okay, but the South Node really has this sense of decrease. So when it's in your first house, there's this depletion of your self-concept. There's a disillusion there. It's a good thing, especially coupled with Jupiter in the 8th house, which is transformative. So to have both of these things going on simultaneously, it is no wonder that Libra is sitting there like, who the heck am I? Who am I becoming? Who do I want to become? And really questioning this whole sense of like who you are. And I'm not going to say it's going to go away overnight, because it won't. And there will still be some imposter syndrome, like there always is, especially with Chiron opposite your sign over in Aries. You know, there's just a lot that's kind of forcing Libra to like get stronger and establish roots. It's just a little bit harder with the South Node there. But I look at this Hierophant reverse and I say, like, the identity and the personality is so connected with the body. It's so connected with the earth and our human experience here. But you're in a place now, and that's really what the King of Wands in the center of the reading represents, is that this is more about your soul than it is about your personality and your persona, right? This is more pure than that. And these ambitions that you have to go earn more money, to go get married and fall in love and have a family, right? Or to go be free and travel and independent, or whatever your goals are, right? Those goals are not just materialistic goals. They are things your soul has an ambition to go after. So regardless of this reconstruction of your identity, you can still achieve a lot. And you can still be brave to be seen, be courageous enough to be seen, even though you may still feel a little like, I don't know what's going on in my own life. You know, it doesn't mean you don't still have value. Because there's always going to be that tie, that connection with the higher self. That's a permanent wiring. It's permanent. No matter how far off track you get, it doesn't matter. You can always come back home. And I'm wondering if that's what this merging actually really is that through the very basic day-to-day choices, the stupid, simple choices, even as simple as like you're laying in bed at night and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to brush my teeth, you know, or you're like watching your Netflix show and you're like, oh, I got to go wash my makeup off my face or something. You're like, even something as simple as that getting up and just doing it because you know it's for the best. Like, yes, please brush your teeth before you go to bed. Please wash your face. Please do like those basic normal things that you're supposed to be doing, because that is how you really see yourself. Okay, give yourself that respect. Give yourself that honor of doing at least that. Okay, because if you got off track with basic things, then it's going to be really hard to stay on track with the big things. You got to get back to fundamentals. And that's the kind of stuff that I think really ties you and connects you with your soul. Okay, we're not trying to overcomplicate this process. It really doesn't have to be that complicated. We're trying to establish new roots in a new system, in a new way, in a new life, especially with this Pluto in Aquarius era. Now, quick note on that, all right? Pluto retrogrades on May 2nd. So right out of the gate in May, Pluto is officially stationed. He's officially retrograde, and he's starting to move back toward Capricorn for the second time. Remember, he did that really weird ingress back and forth a couple of times. So there is this kind of undercurrent of fear that we are going backwards, and we don't want to go backwards, but Pluto is going backwards. So that current is like very strong. And it's like we're trying to swim against the current because we desperately don't want to go back. I'm going to tell you right now that September, October, November, there's probably going to be something that surfaces that you go like, holy heck, I thought I was done with this. I cannot believe I am here again. I cannot believe I'm dealing with this again. That is Pluto closing everything out for good, for good, for good. Okay, if that happens to you later in the year, that's perfectly normal. But right now, it's like we're going to feel that current pulling us back, and we need to try to like swim a little bit to make sure we don't get fully sucked into it. Okay, we don't have to kill ourselves doing it. We don't have to like exert so much, but we have to make the conscious choices. Okay, because we are trying to establish new roots and new systems and plant new seeds in the Pluto in Aquarius era. Now, in May, Pluto remains in Aquarius, May, June, July, August, and part of September. It's still in Aquarius. It's just retrograding, okay? But so we still have plenty of time to plant these seeds, plenty of time to nurture them, plenty of time to swim, away with this current, plenty of time to do all of that. So I'm not trying to rush or push you. I just want you to be aware that there is going to be that kind of wave near the end of the year where it just kind of throws everything off. But it will be fine, and you will all be fine. But that's why it's like to take those steps to make sure that you're aligned with this vision that you hold is going to be so beneficial for you. Now, there is the element of chaos here with the Five of Wands, which means other people may not necessarily be adjusting at the same rate that you are adjusting with everything. And when we start setting boundaries and we start showing up for ourselves in incredible ways, when we stop being afraid to be seen and we start standing in that spotlight proudly, it's amazing how people react to that and how offended they get and how jealous they get and how, insecure they get. And you probably will experience some of that with the people around you. Maybe not your closest friends. Your best friends will probably love and support everything about you. But there's, you are going to leave a little bit of a trail, okay? But ultimately, like I say, you shining your brightest is the best way to help everyone else, to inspire them and to show them that it's possible because you're doing it. And I think there is a big part of you that really wants to prove that you can do this, really wants to prove that you can make this happen for yourself, really wants to prove that it is tangible and possible, and maybe it's not as hard as you thought it was. Because when I look at that Knight of Swords, I feel like he makes everything so much harder, and it's just because it's all in his head. Right? This is like a Gemini gone wrong. Okay, it's like around and around and around and around. It's just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's like it's not a mentally stable. I'm not saying you're not mentally stable, but it's not a mentally stable kind of place. It's not like rooted in anything. It's not anchored. It's all like in the clouds, blah, all over the place. And that it's very difficult to operate and make practical decisions from that kind of a mindset, from that kind of chaos. So you really are kind of finding stability in this King of Wands, and even with the Hierophant. I don't even mind the reversal of the Hierophant at all. I still feel like it's an alignment of truth. So this has the potential to be a really big month. It doesn't mean a big event is going to happen. I don't know that Libra is going to have like some huge event. Okay, I do think this transition is just kind of normal life, but you would be surprised as to how much can change in a month if you start doing things differently for 30 days straight. It's like that's where the real revolution actually happens, especially with Saturn in your 6th house. Okay, it's in the structure, it's in the routine. It's in conscious choices. It's in alignment. It's in boundaries. All right, let's pull out the clarifiers. So we're going to talk for another 25 to 30 minutes about all the cards I'm about to pull out. All that reading can be found in the links for the comprehensive are found in the description box and the pinned comment down below. So if you want to join, we would love to have you. We always get really deep in these readings because I pull out so many more cards. So if you want to join, links below. All right, so let's take a look at the Knight of Swords. Six of Swords. Two of Coins. Not as chaotic, actually, as I thought those cards were going to be. That's a good thing. Okay, and the World. Love the World. Four of Coins, 10 of Wands. Okay. King of Coins. A lot of Taurus cards coming out. Taurus and Taurus. Knight of Wands. Oh, I knew the Lovers was going to come out. That Gemini energy seems to be really strong. Okay. Hanged Man with the High Priestess. Death and 10 of Coins. Four of Cups. Love the maturity on that one. Feels very mature. Like Libra is stepping into a new level of spiritual maturity here. And King of Swords. Chariot. Definitely boundaries there. Okay. 8 of Swords. Knight of Cups. Ace of Coins. Beautiful. Love the Emperor. The Hermit, Queen of Swords, and Queen of Cups. Okay. So this is where we're going to pick up in the comprehensive, Libra. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. Thank you so much. Have a great month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.